What's going on YouTube? Welcome to another video. You're joining me here for a back and biceps workout, starting off with the Pendlay rows. And just out of necessity, this is a deadlift bar, so it's going to look a little different, a little bit whippier, a little bit thinner of a bar too. Man, I edited these clips quick. I didn't realize I can barely keep up with my own commentary. But doing some hybrid rows, trying to go heavy and reintroduce these back. I like them for the power off the floor, and again, they're not meant to be strict. I do a barbell row after the fact, traditional bodybuilding style, but these are meant as like a compound that I can do during the program to initiate kind of like that power aspect of it too. And I just find these fun and interesting, assuming you're not going too crazy with everything here. So I've kind of tapered back, and yeah, there is some English, but it is something that is intentional. So don't feel like you need to do stuff the same way here. Oh man, that water jug's taking a beating. Let's see if it falls off the platform. I guess not. So anyway, pretty fun thing to look at there. But anyway, yeah, here's the barbell row I was talking about traditionally. And you can see here, bar's not red. I moved over to the other barbell that was there. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit stiffer. And I just tend to like these better for the bent over variation. Less whippy, so you're not, as you're moving that weight, there is a little bit of like momentum and stuff going down with these barbell rows. And so that deadlift bars gets whippy and becomes a whole mess and nightmare to deal with here. But yeah, I've decided to combine both because I like the contraction of one, but I like the training aspects and strength carryover from the other one. So best of both worlds is just to go a little bit lighter on these, do them for reps, and really just, destroy the back this way, initiate all that, and then the rest is hypertrophy and all the other crazy stuff you're used to seeing here. So, strategy, you can change different movements whenever you want, do whatever you want, as long as you're hitting those muscle groups. So doing the low row here, and I was doing these unilateral, I sometimes switch to doing, bilateral both at the same time. But sometimes the movement, the mind muscle connection is not really there, and that's kind of like a gibberish term to use, but essentially being able to get the contraction you're looking for with the moment and the movement that you're doing, right? So you want to be able to maximize a certain range of motion in order to get a contraction, and sometimes it's a little bit different if you're sitting too close or the machine doesn't have that range of motion. But I did enjoy this. It is some variety in kind of what we're doing, and provides like another outlet, an additional tool to be able to use. Lat pull down here, and there's a couple different one in the gym here, but this one's really cool. It's got the combination. You can take that bench, if you look at the far right, and you can push it over to where it is a cable row. You can see the connection point on the one I'm using here. Really cool machine, nice variety, and the back, it's not hard to hit back, but there's different dimensions with you can train it, and here's me doing the actual cable row. And I use this interesting, I'm not sure what branding of handle this is, but I like my rows with sort of like a gap in the center, so you can drive a little bit deeper into the torso and get a little bit more range of motion in the back, and ultimately better lat connection. So if you use the traditional like V bar, it kind of hits the spot a little bit early. So I guess I kept that short. I didn't realize I didn't add in the other stuff, but anyway, benching is more fun to look at anyway. So here's me benching the next day, and really liking this Rogue fat bench. I think it's the Thompson pad. It just allows for more points of contact, and you're not slipping and sliding like most benches. So doing the close grip here, paused, and just working my way up. And with the kilos, I was normally just throwing on different weights. So I was warming up with a higher weight and then making higher jumps. But I'm using the tools available to me, and I mean, this is fine. I used to think you needed to be able to lift a certain way. If you didn't train with kilos, you're missing out. And the fact of the matter is I trained with kilos for so long, it really doesn't matter. So 275 here. The only thing you have to, take notice of is the weight shifts and like how your jumps are going to affect the rest of your workout, right? So you may not be able to make as big jumps with the kilos that you would normally make with the pound plates, if that makes sense. But weight's weight, essentially, and as long as you're getting some sort of consistent stimulus and making progress, you'll be fine. So that's what was here. And I could walk over there, drag a bench, and do those bench, with the kilos, but I'd rather just, ease of use setup and not make too much of a conniption with everything here. So this has been working well and I enjoyed it. Like I just mentioned before, I could throw a bench in here and use these kilos, but too much of a hassle, and they're a pretty hot ticket commodity in this gym, so most people are doing some sort of dumbbell work or shoulder pressing, and this is always open. I like this rack. It's pretty heavy duty. It's meant for like heavy squats and banded work and all the other stuff you can do. But not a lot of people use it, so I like to, reserve it for my OHP and stuff. And there's really no other way to do OHP in here without, cleaning something from the floor and then pressing. But I like it. There's a mirror right in front, so you can make sure your form looks good. And it's on a platform, so you could, I've done my rows here. You can deadlift here if you need to. So it just depends. It's being versatile and being able to do the lifts you need to do. So move back over here to flat dumbbell bench. I like to do my heavy barbell compounds first just because they're more taxing and, take a little bit more focus to hit the weights that I want to hit. And then, like I said before, I could take this bench, roll over there, and bench on here if I wanted to. But again, for everyone else's sake here. Overall, nice bench, not sliding on this one. I don't know what texture, if it's like a faux leather on the traditional benches you use, like the black ones. But this one it's actually hard to clean off too when you're using like the pads or spraying. There's a texture to it where it doesn't move as slick, which is a good thing. So when you're benching, you can really like dial in and lock there too. So incline fly here, I'm using this as my main like pec contraction movement. I am doing like a sort of I am doing my cable fly still, but on a different day, just for some variety. And incline dumbbell fly was one of my preferred movements, and then the range of motion started getting weird because of the way that you're holding the dumbbells and then mobility's sake. So this machine's like a happy medium where you can get in there. So a couple new movements coming. I'm really just going to show you the ones I'm overloading and going on. So feel free to, take a look at what's going on there and all the different variety on both days. But the drill, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me. It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using wet shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff. And you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.